In the 29 months since I became a part of the Little Angel Gowns family, I have developed a sort of new friend test for people I come in contact with. You know how some people say, like, I can tell if I'm going to like someone based on whether they like dogs or whether they like cats? Well, I choose my litmus test for whether someone is worth my time and energy based on how comfortable they are talking about little angel gowns. So, you know, when little angel gowns comes up in conversation, which it often does in my life, I sort of gauge, like, do they want to know more? Are they excited to hear about the mission? And if the answer is yes, then I'm excited to continue to connect with them. If they appear uncomfortable or kind of shut down the conversation, then it's sort of like a go to jail card, right? Do not pass go, do not collect $200, go directly to friend purgatory. I'm grateful to be back this year to continue to celebrate and support the mission and amazing progress of Little Angel Gowns. If we haven't yet met, I've been part of the family since my angel, Maeve, was born still at 37 weeks in early 2015. And after she was given a bath by her nurses, she was brought to me dressed in her little angel gown. Tonight, I'm going to share a little bit about her, and also I'm going to share why I believe that every one of you in this room are a rock star. My mom, who is a trained counselor, recently attended a training on grief. For her, the choice to attend this training was personal, because not only is grief something that, of course, as a universal emotion, she deals with all of her clients, but her desire to learn how to continue to process the loss of her first grandchild, Maeve Evalyn, runs quite deep within her. The presenter was a renowned expert who has literally written the books on grief. And he went around the room as part of his presentation, asking people who had lost someone recently, asking about their loss, and asking each person to share their loved one's name. When the speaker came to my mom, he asked her, "Who did you lose?" And she shared, "I lost my first granddaughter in a full-term stillbirth." The speaker responded, "I'm sorry to hear that." And then he went right on to the next person. In a full room, she was the only one who didn't get asked her loved one's name. He even said to the whole room when he finished, "See what I did there? I went around and asked everyone their loved one's name. That is how you honor a life. You ask their name." My normally very sweet, very compassionate, non-confrontational mother went up to him afterwards during his book signing, told him what he'd done, and said, "I want you to know that her name was Maeve because her life matters." When she told me that, I got chills, and I just said, "Mom, you are a badass. Thank you for representing Maeve in that way." And she said, "I did, didn't I? I did represent." I believe, yes, my mom is a badass in her grief. And I also believe that so are each of you here tonight. It's obvious that even among the foremost grief experts, there is still a simple humanity that's so often missing from this type of loss. A humanity that all of you here tonight get. And I can tell just because you're here. Here are just a few of the things that your humanity has helped me to personally accomplish since Maeve died and I received and got to bring home her little angel gown. I got to found a company called Life with Passion that helps women around the world literally to quit their jobs and start their own businesses, which is my dream job. I've gotten to create a global audience who I can educate about grief and about how to be supportive and how to be not unsupportive. The importance of and the possibility of living a life that you love and being able to support those who need it most, like those supported by little angel gowns. I'm writing a book in which little angel gowns will be featured, and all of this is possible because of you here in this room. I recently wrote an article for the Huffington Post called What to Say and What Not to Say to a Grieving Friend. So often in the circumstance of a baby gone or lost, becoming a little angel before they ever had the chance to become a little person here on earth. The most common response that I get when I share, and that I know a lot of my fellow lost parents hear, is, I can't even imagine, right? If you've experienced loss and shared about your experience, you've heard that too. And you've probably said it, and I believe it's an appropriate response. That was one of the things I okayed in my article. But here's the thing. If you're sitting here, you are a dedicated supporter of this organization doing work for the unserved and the underserved. And you're here because you have been willing to imagine, right? You have been willing and available to give this greatest gift, that whatever that looks like, the greatest gift that you can in each moment. And you are contributing to this can't imagine cause. In this world of can't imagines and look the other ways when someone says something true, or rapidly changing the subject when you share what happened to your family and your baby, and sometimes the blank deer in the headlights stare, and like maybe even just walk away or, change the subject. You are the ones who make this grief survivable. Whether you are storing the dresses, or you are cutting patterns because you can't sew like me, or you are sewing, or you're promoting, or you are mailing, or you are sharing, or you're donating, you are supporting. You are keeping us out of the bars and out of the bedrooms with the curtains drawn closed against the sunlight. And you're furthering the legacies of these children who never had the chance to create their own. You are showing up with all that you have, and that is all that is required. You're showing up for families like mine, like Janelle's, and your gift has given us a tangible connection here on earth until I get to reconnect with the soul that I carried for 9 months. I felt move. I felt jump with joy when she heard bluegrass music, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not from Kentucky, but this kid is going to love country. Who I felt bounce around in my stomach when I satisfied our mutual sweet tooth. Who I looked forward to introducing to all the things that life offers, and then suddenly, inexplicably, found myself with a broken heart, driving home from the hospital with a car seat and no baby inside. When Maeve died, I knew my life would never be the same. I knew I'd be rebuilding from the ground up, and that work continues each day. My work every day is to make some kind of peace with that, as I see little girls her age, as I miss the chance to introduce her to her younger sister, my rainbow baby, Fiora Jane, as I watch other sisters play together, and as I ask a million unanswerable questions. It's also never the same in a powerfully positive way because I have this heirloom, this little angel gown. I have this relic that touched her, that clothed her in her brief time on earth, that wrapped her in beauty and the love it was made with, both when it was worn on the greatest of celebratory days by a bride, and when it was recut and sewn with care into a tiny gown, the closest thing my baby girl would ever wear to a wedding dress. Even before I knew who Little Angel Gowns was, you were showing up for me, preparing for the day when Maeve would come to me dressed in hers. And I didn't know in the fog of grief who had made this dress. But I knew it was so special that I had to find out. And so in the weeks that followed, I chased you down. I went back to the hospital and I said, who was this? I've got to know. Give me their email. Put me in touch. I had to know who had given us this most precious gift. There is no grief like losing a child. And there is no feeling more helpful and hopeful than being tangibly supported through that grief by somebody willing to go there. In a culture where most won't, you are shining a bright light for a population that's so much larger than most of us realize, right? The people who've lost babies at any gestation, at any age, is so much greater than most people talk about or are even aware. You are making it possible for me, people like me, to start a business that I love and that also honors Maeve, to help other women go from surviving to thriving, to help my husband and I start our own nonprofit that supports Little Angel Gowns and honors our daughter by making her name famous, which is one of my goals. And this is all a virtuous cycle that started with a wedding dress transformed into a timeless treasure for an angel gone too soon. In our situation, when people heard that Maeve had died, most of them stopped with saying, well, if there's anything I can do, just let me know. And this is actually not helpful because we don't know what we need in that situation. We don't know what you can do. We're doing really well if we took a shower this week, right? So having to think about what we need is pretty overwhelming. But you didn't ask what we needed, you just did. You are doing something. You're providing lifelong comfort. And for that, on behalf of lost families around the country, 6,000 and counting, I thank you. Thanks.